Hey guys, what's up? The Rector here from D&T Central here with a video on Monterey Eldrazi and Taxes going through a competitive modern league. Before we get to the matches, I'd like to do a quick deck tech for those unfamiliar with Monterey ENT or Death and Taxes in general in the modern format. First, we have Aether Vial, a staple artifact in any D&T/ENT list that lets us cheat out creatures and keep up with the fast-paced speed of the modern format. So what creatures do we cheat out? Primarily we have the hate bearers such as Thalia, who she does a great job at taxing the opponent's non-creature spells, Leon Arbiter, who stops fetch lands and other ways to search libraries, along with Fresh Invoker, which stops the activate abilities of creatures, planeswalkers, and artifacts. Next we have attackers such as Bladesplacer, Restoration Angel, Eldrazi's Placer, and Flicker Wisp, the last of which can also blink the opponent's permanents to disrupt them, and then Displacer and Resto do a good job at protecting our creatures, but Flicker Wisp can do that as well. And also all three of those can blink Bladesplacer to get extra value, and all of them, well, particularly Restoration Angel and especially Flicker Wisp work well with Aether Vial, as they can add instant speed, save our creatures from a removal spell or Displacer if you have the mana. And then in terms of the Eldrazi besides Displacer, we also have Thought-Knot Seer, which acts as a Thoughtseize on a 4/4 body, and while this does draw the opponent a card when it leaves the battlefield, it's a good target still to blink with Restoration Angel / Displacer / Flicker Wisp, as Thought-Knot Seer can take the opponent's best cards and leave them with lands and other subpar spells. And in terms of the other spells in deck, there are 4 Path Exiles to act as very powerful removal spells, as the majority of modern decks have really good creatures and try to win with those. In addition, the mana base consists of 7 basic planes. Basics are a necessity, as there are still decks with Blood Moon, Field of Ruin, Ghost Quarter, Path Exile, and Assassin's Trophy, and other ways that gives basic lands upside. Plus, these are a great way to cast our white spells. We also have 3 Shephet Dunes, which produce both colorless and white mana, which lets them cast all of the spells in our deck, albeit at a small cost for white mana, and then the active ability can be relevant at finishing the game at times. Next, we have 4 Eldrazi Temple, which let us power out Thought-Knot Seer. 2 of these on turn 1, 2, along with the Thought-Knot Seer, lets us have the famous turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer play, and they also work well at activating Eldrazi Displacer, as with a few Eldrazi Temples, you can easily activate Displacer 2 or even 3 times a turn. Next we have Field of Ruin, which works well with Leon Arbiter, and then Ghost Quarter works very well with Leon Arbiter, as with this Arbiter in play, the opponent has to pay 2 mana for each Arbiter that's in play to search the library, and if they cannot do that, Ghost Quarter becomes sacrificed it to destroy target land, as the opponent cannot search out basic land, essentially making it into the banned in Legacy card Strip Mine. And finally, to wrap the mana base up, we have 4 Horizon Campy, which, while they do cost life, the activate ability of 1 and tap to sacrifice it to draw a card is very good, especially when you have Aether Vial providing you with a way to bring out creatures. Sacrificing Horizon Campy is no big deal, and also helps us dig for our hate bearers such as Thalia, along with some sideboard cards based on the matchup, and also helps us against flooding. Now onto the sideboard. First we have 2 Brenton Forge Tenders to help against the many red decks. Lightning Bolt is one of the most played cards in Modern, so having 2 Brentons is a good way to combat all those Lightning Bolt decks. Also helps against decks such as Is It Phoenix that are running Anger the Gods. We also have 1 Grafdigger's Cage along with 3 Rest in Pieces to enter the graveyards. The reason why there are more Rest in Pieces than Cage is that although it costs more mana and is a little hard to cast, it permanently gets rid of the graveyard. So if, for example, Nature's Claim were to hit the opponent would not have a graveyard. Very relevant against Dread, Phoenix decks, where they can easily rebuild if they still have a graveyard after the cage is removed. Whereas with Rest in Peace, it would take them some time to get their engine going. In addition, 3 Stony Silences, very good against Trod, Affinity, and Artifact Prison decks, where a lot of those decks cannot be a Stony Silence if they don't have Nature's Claim, similar to Rest in Peace. There's also 1 Uruk Champion to fight up against the many red, very aggressive decks, like Burn and Mono Red Phoenix. It's also not bad against humans as a way to gain life. 2 Dismembers, great against humans, Banned Spirits, and a lot of the other decks that rely on creatures in the format, while losing 4 life makes it unplayable against very fast decks like Phoenix, Mono Red Phoenix, and Burn. It is still a very good card to have, as there isn't really any better options for removal spells 5 and 6 after Path to Exile. And then we have 4 costing spells to finish off sideboard. Cell Wreckage. Not only is it a decent way to remove attackers from humans and Banned Spirits, 2 of ENT's worst matchups, it also does wonders against Arc-like Phoenix decks. 1 Gain out of Zendikar to act as a control finisher against blue control decks along with Jund or other slower decks in the format, although a lot of those have gotten pushed out of the format, so I only have 1 in the deck. I've had 2 Guineas in deck in past modern formats, but this format's way too fast to warrant that. And finally, 1 Warship as a way to auto-win against some decks, while Deputy Attention is now in humans to answer a card like Warship a lot easier than before. This card can still just win the game, whereas something like Cell Wreckage is a lot easier for the opponent to rebuild against. Anyway, that is the deck, and now it's time to jump into the matches. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you soon. Alright, here for round 1 of a competitive modern league on Mono White Eldrazi and Taxes. We are on the play, and this hand has too many lands, so I'm going to mulligan it. This hand has 0 lands, so I'm going to mulligan it as well. Not off to the best start, but that is quite fine. There are plenty of games that you can randomly win through turn 2 Hate Bears. There are some case scenarios where you do keep 6 land hands, although usually the ones where usually the most lands you would keep are 5 land hands, although it really is going to depend on the 2 non-land cards, the specific lands, and the matchup. I think the only time I would keep a 5 land hand against an unknown deck is if at least 2 of the lands are Horizon Campies. Keeping any 5 card hand, keep a Path to Exile on top, and lead off with basic plays and pass the turn. Can't imagine that Eldrazi Displacers are going to help against Grixis Death Shadow, a very common deck in Modern's current meta. Also one that punishes 5 card hands pretty well. I'd imagine we're going to see a fail push on Eldrazi Displacer. Yep. Displacer is actually pretty good in the matchup, as it is a good way to stop their creatures from attacking. They got a Blood Crypt and a Death Shadow. And another Death Shadow. Okay. Very typical start for Death Shadow. I guess I'll Path Exile Death Shadow right now. I don't want to do it on their upkeep, as they can Stubborn Denial. I don't have any mana to pay for it. And if I wait too long, they can get their Death Shadow up to 4 power and then Stubborn Denial. And as a hard counter, they're going to attack for 3. I'm not going to block. They could have Street Wraith, Lightning Bolt on themselves. And honestly, this card is probably more valuable than the Death Shadow, as I can tap down their Death Shadow indefinitely and attack them a few turns and kill them. That's not going to work out though with them having 4 cards in hand, but it is certainly a dream. The good news though about mulliganing to 5 against Grixis Death Shadow is that their discard spells are not too good past the first couple of turns. Like, if they just play a Thoughtseize or an Inquisition here, doesn't get them any value. So I guess that's good. Really get to show them. Although Gurmag Angler will kill me pretty soon. Which is obviously what they're playing here. Leaving up a Stubborn Denial or Fail Push. Ooh, Thought-Knot Seer. Not a bad draw, I would say. Oh, they can also be leaving up Dismember. Okay, if they have Dismember, I'm just dead. I will gladly die to it. So hopefully they don't have Dismember in hand. Ooh, they don't. Great. Wow, their hand is terrible. We definitely have a chance, albeit a very low chance. Essentially, we need them to draw useless cards like discard spells and then find another land. To displace her twice. I think it is our best shot at winning, and obviously at that point we would take the we'd take the Temur Battle Rage, leave him with that Stubborn Denial, and accept that Path Exile is now a dead card. That is one of our options. Another option is to take the Stubborn Denial and try and win through drawing a Path Exile, although I'm pretty sure that just loses the Temur Battle Rage. They ignoring the unknown they draw. At the very least, they can shock themselves with Blood Crypt, attack for 10, and give. And if I block one of them, they give the other one double strike. Or at the very least, they double strike the one that I'm blocking, and I lose both my creatures. So I really do think I have to take Temur Battle Rage. But wow, their hand is not good. The good news is that they have a lot of dead spells. Snapcaster Mage is a 2-mana 2/1. All their discard spells are pretty much dead, although Thoughtseize does grow their shadow. Their lands only grow shadow. Stubborn Denial is not going to be relevant this game. Gurmag Angler as of now is uncastable. And while Fail Push doesn't do anything yet, they will have Revolt up, as I will have to blink their creatures unless I want to risk blinking Thought-Knot Seer. Well, I guess Thought-Knot Seer is not too risky to blink. Also, if they attack with both creatures, they could leave themselves dead very fast. Well, they can't attack with Death Shadow, I don't think. Yeah, they can attack with Gurmag. I cannot block it. If I block it, presumably no matter what they get rid of, it's bad. If I lose Thought Knot, they draw a card. If I lose Displacer, shenanigans can happen. I mean, my shenanigans go away. Excuse me. Okay, Blood Crypt tapped. Okay, and they pass. And I draw a Revoker, which is an awful draw. So actually, Revoker is not an awful draw. I am going to correct myself. I think my plan here is to attack with Thought Knot Sphere, and then use Displacer to tap down Death Shadow. If they have a Lightning Bolt, then I pretty much die. Oh shoot! I should have played Revoker first to name Street Wraith, but I don't think they have it in hand. I think if they did, they probably would have attacked with Death Shadow. Although I guess that would have also proved that they had that in hand. Either way, now they are down board. I could also Field of Ruin, but that doesn't do anything. So I'd rather just play a 2/1 that can turn off Street Wraith. Although I don't even know if it's a good idea. Maybe we could actually wait. Maybe I should name Mishra's Bobble. Yeah, let's name Mishra's Bobble. I honestly think going to 4 by cycling a Street Wraith. Although they can also hardcast it. Yeah, okay, that's a further reason to name Mishra's Bobble. Sure. Although I guess if I name Street Wraith and then they play Mishra's Bobble, I could blink Revoker, although I'm not doing that. I still might blink Revoker instead of Death Shadow. Just block Death Shadow, blink Revoker, so fail push. Bleh. Not fail push. Yeah, fail push. So they wouldn't have something to kill with fail push. So they're going to attack with both. Interesting. I have 2 options here. There's always a chance that they have a second Teamer Battle Rage. But I'm not sure if I want to really play around that or not. I can play around it. But I also don't think I need to. I think I can just chump with the Phyrexian Revoker. And that way their only out would be Lightning Bolt. Although I don't think it can be Lightning Bolt. I guess that's not true. I guess it can be Lightning Bolt. So let me start with the block. They're gonna pass priority. This is very tricky. Now that I think about it, if they have Teamer Battle, I just don't think that they're gonna have a second Teamer Battle Rage. I think it's a lot more likely that they have a Lightning Bolt, huh? And if they have Lightning Bolt, then it might just be better to Displacer the Revoker. Yeah, I think it is just better to Displacer the Revoker. Name Mishra's Bobble again. Yeah, I was right with that read of them not having the Teamer Battle Rage, and they conceded. So I feel pretty happy about how I played that. Again, even if they had Lightning Bolt there, Since I kept Revoker alive, them killing Displacer would leave me with 6 power, and they'd still be dead. I can't believe we just won a mulligan. The 5 against Grixis Death Shadow into play. Especially because the way we won was not through hate bears. That's the problem with Grixis Death Shadow, though. Like, the deck is very powerful, don't get me wrong, but they lose life. And it's not hard for us to just kill them, especially with a card like Eldrazi Displacer, tapping down their creatures. It's all difficult for us to get a win through that. Moving to the sideboard, I bring in 2 Dismembers, kills their threats. Rest in Peace answers, stops them from casting Gurmag Anglers unless they somehow hit 7 lands. It also makes Snapcaster Mages and the Ambush Vipers, and the majority of the list run Faithless Looting, although I don't think we saw looting off of them. But either way, it would stop that card if they have it. Also, Gideon is a pretty good threat. Gideon's very good if they only have 1 creature in play. And he's alright if they have 2 in play. But overall, I like him. We're gonna have more removal, so it'll be harder for them to have a lot of creatures in play. Our Champion's a card that I have considered before. I do have some problems with him. He is very hard to cast, actually, I found. Every time I bring him against a deck like Mono Red or a Burn, I have trouble the vast majority of the time casting him on turn 2. So I don't really like him in that regards. But on the other hand, he does indefinitely block one of their creatures, but blocking is not the same as removing, so it's a lot harder to kill them with it. Well, I guess it does attack through everything but Snapcaster Mage for free. I think on the draw, I think it might be fine, but for now, if I find room, I'll find room. For now, I'm going to cut the Vials and the Revokers. Revoker is a little better to play, but it's a little slow in the draw. This is 60. I think I do want to try a Rook Champion. I think it is pretty good on the draw, and I'll take out a Flicker Wisp and run like this. Alright, game 2 against Grixis Death Shadow on the draw. They are keeping a 7-card hand, and we are presented with a lot of painful lands. I found that, little side, Horizon Campy and Shepherdtoons love to hang out together, but when they hang out, they make sure that there are no basic planes around at all. And this usually occurs against burn decks or other decks that losing life is very bad. I still love these lands though. This one is great because the activate ability does randomly win games, or at the very least you're getting a colorless source that does cruise way, albeit as like draw back, and Campy is great for obvious reasons. The format is fast, but it's not too fast for Campy. The point where I start losing a lot to burn, to not just do I start losing a lot to burn or burn like decks, but burn and burn like decks start taking over the format. That's the point where I stop playing Campy. That has not happened yet, so I'm not going to stop playing my Horizon Campy. This card is just so good. As long as you are playing one color, you can play it. Even though Mono White ENT is technically 2 colors, you can still afford to play this over like some basic planes. They do take Path. Makes sense. That's why I would guess they would take. Ooh, we drew Nathan Vial. We only had 2 in the deck. That was a little lucky, I'd say. Pass the turn. You're playing a Delta. Makes sense to crack that fetch land before Arbiter hits the battlefield. almost at that shadow life total. Now they're at that shadow life total after they thoughts use us and probably take our, oh, they take thought, not, I thought they take arbiter. Okay, and there's a shadow. Hope to find a dismember or path. Ooh, speak of the devil. I need to cast dismember right now. I can't play arbiter and cast this later. Number one, I don't want to take damage from the shadow. And number two, I do not want to give them the mana to hold up Stubborn Denial, or at the very least, Lightning Bolt on themselves plus Druid Wraith. You gotta cast this card very early if you're planning to kill a Death Shadow, as it's not hard for them to get a Shadow above 5, or at the very least, have Death Shadow at like 4 plus a fetch land in play. Excuse me. Guess a K-Trip's company like a Thought Scour, yep. They milled Streak Wraith and Dismember. Happy to see Dismember gone. Although I guess now Dismember can be accessed in their graveyard. Fetching Water Grave down to 8. No, down to 10. Are we seeing a Gurmag? Oh, no, nothing. Oh, they had. I was about to say why they fetch, but they fetched because I had a Leonardo in hand. Which means they probably have a Bolt or Veil Push. I'm going to play Campy and pass the turn. I'm not going to bring Leonardo now because I do not want to lose it to a Lane Bolt or Veil Push on my turn. I'd rather them use the mana on their turn. They're leaving up Blood. Actually, they're leaving up Blood Crypt. Where they cast again? Oh no, they just fetched out Water Grave. So I guess they could still be leaving up Veil Push. I almost wondered if the reason they left up Blood Crypt rather than Water Grave was due to an obvious Lightning Bolt, but I don't think that's the case. I'm actually going to bring in Leon Arbiter now on upkeep. Yeah. Because I don't think that they're going to. I think the only reason why I would not bring in Leon Arbiter upkeep is if I assume the opponent will misplay, and I'm not going to assume the opponent will misplay that. It's not like I desperately need an out. And I'd rather put into play before they can play a fetch land, and then when I activate Vial, they would in response fetch. I'd rather, basically, if they have fetch lands in hand that they want to crack, they have to kill Arbiter. And I don't really care about Arbiter. Yep, there's the fetch land. And we're going to see Lightning Bolt on Arbiter or a Veil Push. I'm not going to crack Campy yet. I want to see if they have an answer to Aether Vial first. There's no way they don't have an answer to Arbiter, though. The way they played really... Maybe not. I guess there is a chance. But I would be very surprised if they lack an answer. Ooh, Thalia. I almost want to keep Vial on too, but I'm just going to keep ticking it up. Veil Push targeting Leon and Arbiter. I think what I'm going to do is activate Vial to scare them. But I might not actually Vial in anything. And then just cast a Thalia. No, that would not make sense. I would just bring in Thalia, never mind. This might make them want to fetch though. Nope. Was worth a shot though. I was already considering upkeep Violating Thalia though, so it's not like this is costing me anything. So yeah. They only have 2 in hand, wow. Where'd all their cards go? I guess 4 lands is a lot for them. And they were on to play. Bring Val up to 3. Again, I'm not gonna crack Campy till end step. I don't want to crack it if they have an Abrade for my Aether Vial. Or K Command. K Command would be brutal. Although they have K Command, they might just leave the Vial and get back that Shadow and kill Thalia. So hopefully they don't have K Command. At this point, I really hope that their hand is full of cards that are 1-for-1. Preferably not threats. Those are the ones that are most beatable. Flicker Wisp. No. I do definitely regret Violating Thalia now. With hindsight 2020. We do have a Plains though. Kinda forgot about that Plains. Breaking the Campy curse. End step, they'll probably fetch for a tapped shock. Steam Vents, I assume. Oh no, Blood Crypt, okay. And are gonna see a fail push on Thalia. They might be thinking about fail push, Thought Scour, Dismember. I would love to see a Dismember on Thalia. I mean, I would have much rather had Thalia and Flicker Wisp up. But again, you never know what your top card is. I think there was a very fair chance that they played weird by me activating Violon too there. But they didn't get to trick them. They did not kill Thalia. Well, I hope that means that they can't, and not that they have a better way of doing so. Oh, okay. I can be a Snapcaster on a fail push. Oh, on a Thoughtseize? Okay. There goes Flicker Wisp. So sad. But that's beatable. That is beatable. And they will pass the turn. And on end step, I'll crack Campy. See if I can find something good. Chef at Dunes is horrible. I'll keep Vial on 3. I've had so many bad experiences of taking up to 4. And one of the issues is you could draw a card like Eldrazi Displacer. Oh, I should have played the Plains. Whoops. Give away a little less information. Although Shefet is a little better at this stage of the game. I'm going to attack. I think it's fine to attack. Oh no, I don't like them blocking here. It smells like a Kolaghan's Command. Although they don't have a lot of mana, so they can't actually Snapcaster Kolaghan's Command. They're very far from that. But they can K Command, get back Snapcaster, and either shatter my Vial or... Actually, does that even do much for them? I don't know. So if they have Kolaghan's Command as their plan, they would have 1 mana left over, and they would have a Snapcaster in hand. I think at this point I just have to... I think if they block the Snapcaster, they 100% have Kolaghan's Command. So I think I'm going to play around it. This is so slow though. I'm giving them time. But why else would they block like that? Oh, they have a Snapcaster? Sure. Targeting fail push? Yep. Temple was almost a good draw. Almost. Oh, and wow. They can't beat that. They must have a land in hand then. Yeah, that was a pretty solid matchup. Pretty standard games against a good matchup for ENT, and I'll see you for round number 2 of a competitive modern league with mono white Eldrazi and Taxes. We are on the play, and 2 Aether Vials. I haven't seen a hand with 2 Vials in quite some time. This is a pretty decent hand. I don't like 2 Vials, especially on the play. It's essentially a dead card, but that's a Thalia, that's a Flicker Rust, and that's a Restoration Angel. All great cards, so gonna keep it. When you're thinking about keeping your mulliganing hand with 2 Aether Vials, you can essentially think of it as take away 1 of the Aether Vials and put it as a 6-card hand. And if I mold the 6 with this hand minus an Aether Vial, I would definitely keep it. In fact, this hand is actually better than that because unless if I draw planes, I'm going to run out Aether Vial and turn... Well, unless if I draw planes, I'm probably going to run out Aether Vial on turn 2. With the exception of if they're on a deck where I have to run Thalia. I'm up against Tron, a deck where I do not have to run out Thalia. In fact, I cannot Ghost Quarter myself because I need to Ghost Quarter their land. Or else I will die to Tron. This is actually the kind of deck where 2 Vials could be pretty good. So, I mean, this is not the kind of deck, this is the kind of very specific game because of how this game is going out. Tron, I found to be a matchup where if you're on the play, you're favored. If you're on the draw, you're not favored. Ooh, they don't have another Tron land. Wow. Also, if they're not going to crack their map now, there's no way they don't crack their map now. Crack it? No? Oh, yes. Oh, punished. I don't know why they didn't crack their map. They might even just realize that they should have cracked their map now. I'm gonna pass now. I'm not going to Ghost Quarter myself, and if they go for the map, then... Yeah, wow. Maybe they're unfamiliar with this matchup, but... Yeah, this is backbreaking. Otherwise, I'm not sure how we would have been doing. I guess we could have brought an Arbiter and then strip mine their land, but... And they're gonna play No Stone, but I get to strip mine one of their Tron lands. Yeah, this is not great for the opponent. I don't have to do it right now though. I can wait till my turn to get a little more information. Pretty much the same rule as Wasteland in terms of I could Ghost Quarter now or later. It's better to do it later because I'm getting more information and I'm losing nothing. Although the times that happens are a lot more common with Wasteland, as Ghost Quarter is not necessarily a strip mine effect, unless if the opponent is all tapped out. Don't forget about removal on Gold Leon Arbiter. That could always ruin your plans. Now I think I'm going to play Eldrazi Displacer and then Violent Thalia and hold up Flicker Wisp rather than holding up Displacer plus activation. They don't have much removal, and even if they have removal, I just don't care. I think at this point I should cast spells and make sure I don't die by them having things. I guess then it might even be better to not play Displacer, but this puts some good pressure on them, so I'm gonna do it this way. And I'll just blow up. I guess they're mine. It doesn't really matter. As long as it's one of the 2 Tron lands. Then I'll bring in Thalia now to tax their many non-creature spells and attack for 2. When I saw that they're on Tron with the hand I had, I actually did not feel very good, but we definitely did draw very well for this matchup. Yeah, here, the second vial just did some good work by bringing in Thalia. Relic, sure. I guess I will Vial and Flicker Wisp on end step, targeting their Relic to force them to crack it right now, I guess. It doesn't really matter. Sure. Oh no, it doesn't force them, never mind. They can just do it on their end step. What am I talking about? Well, I guess now if I Ghost Core the power plant, they should crack it now. So I guess I did kind of force them. I'm not going to leave up Flicker Wisp. I want to get another attacker. Now I have Resto, Displacer activation, and possibly whatever I draw. Oh, they just gave up. Yep. At this point, I could Displacer, target Flicker Wisp, and bring in Restoration Angel to take them off 2 lands, making the odds of them coming back essentially 0, as they would be dead the next turn. So definitely respect the concede there, the concession. And up against Mono Green Tron, the 3 Stony Silences come in. They have Expedition Map, Walking Ballista, Chromatic Star, Chromatic Sphere, Oblivion Stone. Sometimes they'll have a post-board Ratchet Bomb. And there might be some other post-board artifacts that they have, making Stone Silence very valuable. Aether Vial gets worse, not just because you're on the draw, but because Stone Silence plus Vial is not a great combo. Vial is definitely your worst card on the draw. All these hate bears are great. Path Exile gets better post-board. Pre-board they only have Worm Coil, but post-board you usually get Thought Knot and what's it called? Drag Tusk. Still not good enough to bring in. Still not good enough reason to bring in Dismember for sure. You really don't know how much those threats are bringing and how much their deck will consist of them, so I don't want to bring in a card that could potentially be useless or nearly useless. Otherwise, I usually take out at least 2 vials, and also sometimes I would trim a Restoration Angel as it's a little slow on the draw. And I still want to have the potential to run vial if I don't, because I don't need Stone Silence to win. And Restoration Angel could be too slow. Well, I thought that's also 4 mana. Number 1, Eldrazi Temple can make a 3 or even 2 drop, and number 2, the disruption is very powerful. If they manage to get Tron, you could take their Tron card, and sometimes there are so many games where the opponent gets to Tron, and then you just kill them with your creatures. I've had games where I've had like two remorseful clerics attack the opponent for like 5 turns after they had Tron, and then just win. It's definitely possible. Anyway, on to game number 2 against Tron. Stony Silence and Aether Vial. Well, let's just talk about how it's still fine because you're not always going to have Stony Silence in your hand. It's fine to keep some vials. You don't want to be too slow, but it's definitely a risk. That being said, they bring in Nature's Claim, so it's not like you need to assume that once you have Stony in play, Vial is dead. A lot of times that you play Stony, then they Nature's Claim a turn or two later, and then your Vial's back online. So that's why I keep in some Vials, especially on the draw, where usually Vial's too slow in the draw. However, on the draw, you just really have to be fast. You cannot slow down, and sometimes the only way you can interact with their Tron plan is... Wait, sorry for going a little bit tangent. I'm gonna keep this hand 2 lands to cast the vast majority of the spells, also all the important spells, which are these 2. Pretty good hand. But the vast majority of the time, not all the time, but there's a fair amount of time, especially when they keep a 7-card hand, that the opponent's gonna have natural Tron, like turn 1 Tron land into map, turn 2 Tron land, and the only way to interact with them is a Ghost Quarter, and having the Ghost Quarter on turn 2 without an Aether Vial in play is gonna set you back a whole turn. They mulligan to 6. I'm not gonna dig for Ghost Quarter. That's not a winning proposition. It looks like I'm gonna get turn 3 Tron, so I'm probably going to lose this game. Oh wow, Ghost Quarter just on time. Speaking of the devil, I don't even want to show him Ghost Quarter. If they don't have a Tron lane here, though, we're in great shape. Oh, they don't. Wow. Another map? Okay, we're gonna slam Stony then. Oh my god, they Nature's Claimed the Aether Vial? Sorry for... drew their Ghost Quarter. Well, they almost certainly have a Nature's Claim here. If they're going to Nature's Claim an Aether Vial when they play 2 maps, they have to have another answer. Yeah, here it is. Oh no, that's a Stirrings. Wow. There's no way they don't have an answer. Maybe they saw the Vial and assumed that I didn't have Stony. Spatial. Oh no. That is an answer to the Leonard I'm about to play. That's fine. If they cast it here, I get to strip mine them. If they don't, then they're using their mana ineffectively. So it's really a win for me. And if they're passing the turn, I get to leave a Restoration Angel. So this is like a triple win for me. Another Ghost Quarter? This is brutal. Also, they just missed a land drop. Wow. I feel really bad for the opponent right now. I'm just going to pass the turn. And as long as they don't hit a land drop, they literally can't do anything. Okay, they did hit land. Unfortunately for us. Although fortunately for us, we have a way to save our 2/2 Hate Bear. No reason to run out the Restoration Angel. I don't like playing slow, especially given how slow the opponent is going, but I'm still hitting them for 2 damage each turn, and next turn I can play Thalia and still leave up Resto. Sure, play a map. Play your map. Revoker. Okay. No, don't do a draw step. Yeah. Yeah. I really hope they Spatial Contortion and don't have an answer. Actually, they can't now because actually, oh, they're gonna go for it now. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to, in response, strip mine their power plant, and I think they have a dismember now. So then we get to Restoration Angel. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna Restoration Angel the Leonardo to save it. Okay, and that was a very quick match. Yeah, the hand did not have Ghost Quarter, but we managed to draw 3 of them, which was very fortunate for us. But now we are 2-0 after winning a clean match against Mono Green Tron, and I'll see you for round number 3. Alright, here for match number 3 in a competitive Modern League on my way Eldrazi and Taxes, where we are on the draw. This hand has no Aether Vial, but it has a good curve of creatures and a good mix of lands, so I'm going to keep it. It could use a Valley, Leonardo. Okay, never mind. None of this matters. We're playing its Dredge. I almost want to concede right now to conceal information as for what I'm on, but I think no matter what, Dredge will bring in Nature's Claims, so I think I would rather not concede right now. That's not really enjoyable gameplay anyway. They do have a looting in the graveyard to flashback, an amalgam that'll come back. Sadly, we won't, this iteration of ENT does not run remorseful cleric, so I don't really have that as an out. I would like to see the opponent do a little bit more before I can see. This looks like a Cathartic Reunion that will probably do it. Oh no, it's a Conflagrate for 5 at my face. Huh. Sure. So they have 2 Loams, a Thug, 2 Amalgams, and a Bloodghast. Wait, they don't have any lands in their graveyard. Actually, I think we could be fine. We have to draw exactly Leonardo next turn, but we definitely are not in that bad shape. I really don't want to show my deck, but I think it's fine. I don't think their sideboarding will change. But if we do somehow manage to draw a Leonardo here, we could be in great shape. Really depends what they hit off their dredgers. Oh, they naturally draw? Yeah, they really wanted to. I don't know why they naturally drew. That can't be correct. I know their logic, but they should have just dredged Loam and hoped to hit a Dark Amoeba and get some amalgams going. That's what I would have done, probably. Or dredged Thug, actually, not Loam. No reason to dredge Loam. Yeah, if I hit Leonardo there, that would be pretty good, but alas, Blades Blazer is still a good card to play. Why are they naturally drawing? They're really trying to hit that 3rd land, huh? That feels risky to me. I will play anyway a Field of Vern attack for 6. And oh, they have Conflagrate in hand. Interesting. So I actually don't know if they can win at this point. Let's see. They could have a Dark Blast in hand. 3, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna play Restoration Angel now on Blade Splicer before they have Black Man, the Dark Blast, Blade Splicer in response. But wow, the fact that they only had 2 lands in hand and Thalia was able to stop them. But that being said, they just hit 2 Creeping Chills, and now we're at 9, and could quite possibly die next turn. Although we did just draw a Leonardo. So I guess we attack, right? Although they can get back Bloodghast. Let me see. So we would attack for 9, 10, 11, 12. Ugh, if we had a Chef at Dunes, that would be lethal. Wow. As much as I'd love to go score them, they can pay for Arbiter's Tax and then proceed to get land and get the Bloodghast online. So anyway, so I can attack them 6, 9, 10, 11. I think I would like to leave back 2 creatures. And then probably go attack with value as well. And then I can play Thought Knot here. If they draw land, they get to confiscate me for 3. I don't think Bloodghast could realistically kill me. I'm trying to think if I want Thought Knot Seer or Flicker Wisp. I think it's just better to Flicker Wisp and take one of their lands out temporarily. By one of their lands, I mean their stomping ground. That way I also can play a Leon Arbiter. So, oh, that does give them land back though. No, it's fine. There's no way they can muster lethal. That's 7 low life points. So yes, I will search for planes and play Arbiter. Remove Enstep, Resto comes back, target Flicker Wisp. Say yes, and then target their stomping ground. Thereby making Conflagrate uncastable. And wow, the game that I was talking about conceding to conceal information, we managed to pull off a win due to them only having 2 lands. Wow. And Thalia just stopped them from casting anything. Getting a free win against Dredge, game 1. It's very rare, but when it happens, it feels great, and also it makes your chance of winning the matchup significantly higher, as now you have 2 post-board games to try and win through, to win with your graveyard hate, rather than having to win both of them. You only have to win one of them. Anyway, on to sideboarding. We're on the draw, so I'm going to take out at least 1 Aether Vial, maybe 2. I'm going to leave an all 4 Path Exiles, as I want to have them as a way to alleviate their attackers. It's not a great card, but there are games where you'll play Rest in Peace and then they'll still have enough creatures to kill you, so it's a good idea to have these. Plus, if you want to win through damage, removing their blockers is good. Anyway, I will take out Revokers. It can name Shriekhorn, but that's too slow in the draw. And then otherwise, your next weakest creature is Flicker Wisp, as it does not block. It does not attack well because it gets blocked by Narcomoeba, and there isn't really any great Flicker Wisp tricks you can do. While Worship may look like a good card to bring in, a lot of the time the opponent will have no trouble finding an answer to Worship, and they'll usually find the answer before you can find Graveyard Hate spell. You also can take out a Restoration Angel. Actually, I'm gonna do that, leaving a third Vial. I don't want to have too many 4-drops in the deck, and because a lot of the time you're not going to get to the 4-drop part of the game. And if you do, you just don't want to have a hand with too many 4-drops. That's a good way to lose against a very low to ground deck. And this deck does have a lot of 4-drops. So that's why I cut that. And now we are going to game number 2 against Dredge on the draw. They are mulliganing to 6. We will mulligan to 6 as well. Post-war games are simple when deciding to keep or mulligan a hand. Is there Graveyard Hate? Yes. Keep it as long as you can feasibly keep the hand. If you otherwise, mulligan. I'm on the draw, and I have a Scry, so I'm going to keep this hand. Although it's very risky, for sure. We do have 22 lands in the deck, though, so I'm not too worried. If this was not a land, I would obviously mulligan, but you have to take risks against Dredge anyway. Ghost Quarter is the land. That does technically work, as I can Ghost Quarter the Temple. I guess I'll keep it on top. A land is a land. And they're gonna leave off the Blood Crypt tapped. Wow. Slow hand. I'll play an Eldrazi Temple and pass the turn. Best draw would obviously be a White Source. Basic Plains is the best of them. They're gonna probably play a Cathartic Reunion here. Hopefully we don't see things like Narcomoebas. Oh, they played one, but they just discarded those two. Ooh, a Ghost Quarter. That's actually not a bad draw. Now we're going to play Rest in Peace, get rid of their 2 creatures, and force them to have an answer to it. And the next turn we can play an Arbiter and go from there. Actually, I drew a Thalia, and I like Thalia more, so I'm going to play her. I don't want Ghost Quarter them anyway. They pass. That's a good sign. Means that there's a good chance they don't have an answer to Rest in Peace. I'm not going to play Blade Splicer over the other creatures. It hits them harder. We have to win before they hit an answer to Rip. They play a land, pass. We play a land, attack for 6. And we can put them now on a 2-turn clock. Oh. What is this? Lightning Axe, discarding Narcomoeba. Okay. Well, in that case, our clock is significantly lowered, which is very unfortunate. So if I play 2 Arbiters, I can hit them for 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think it's worth it. I don't think the extra life I gain off of the champion makes it worthwhile to play. I also can Ghost Quarter their Black Source. I actually like that more. While I cannot cast as many spells by doing this, a lot of lists these days run Assassin's Trophy, so that's an out that they no longer have, in theory, by getting rid of their Black Source, so pretty happy with doing that. Plus Thalia, plus Leon Arbiter is already taxing them a lot, in theory, so, and furthermore, I am not lowering my clock. I still have a 2-turn clock. assuming no removal or blockers. Oh yeah, and yeah, another reason to get rid of the Blood Crypt. Now they can't play a Stinkweed Imp to block our creatures. So now I'm gonna deploy our hand and pass the turn. At this point, even if they have an answer to Rip, it might just be too slow. Speaking of the devil, here's a Rip answer, but just like the last game, the hate bearers are taxing too much, they're too low life total, and that is the match. So now we are 3-0 after beating Dredge, and I'll see you for the next round. Alright. Here for match number 4 of a competitive Modern League with Monoway, Eldrazi and Taxes. And we will be on the play, and this is a land heavy hand, but a pretty good one. Turn 1 Aether Vial, 2 hate bearers, along with some good utility lands. Horizon Campy can help with the overdose of lands. So we will keep this hand. Opponent is keeping a 7 as well, and I think I will lead off on Ghost Quarter over Eldrazi Temple, although I don't think it really matters much. I guess if I draw an Eldrazi Displacer, I would rather lead off with Temple, but at the same token, I don't think I'd want to necessarily play Displacer. I think Thalia is a better play. And we're up against a deck with turn 1 Faithless Looting after fetching Stomping Grounds through a Wood Foothills. I'm going to assume Dredge again. And would you look at that, it is another Dredge deck. Gonna play a Thalia and pass the turn. See if we can cheese them out like what we did last match. They don't have any dredgers in the graveyard, but they are getting back many creatures. I think if we hit a Leonin Arbiter, we're in great shape. They do have a second land, which is unfortunate, of course. In fact, we might need to hit Leonin Arbiter in order to win, so I might just sacrifice Horizon Campy on my turn to look for that as an out. They have a Shriekhorn, sure. I did think about playing Revoker to name Shriekhorn, but that's fine. File on 2. Draw. Yeah, I'm going to sacrifice Horizon Campy here. In case I do hit Leonin Arbiter. I did not. So I guess I'll play Ghost Quarter and activate Vial. Sweet. They did not activate Shriekhorn. I was hoping they would not. So now I get to name it with Revoker. And trying to remember if they have 1 or 2 basics in their deck. I guess there's only one way to find out, huh? Yeah. First I'll attack though. I almost wonder if I just should have Ghost Quartered them twice. Yeah. It's only 1 basic though, this is good. They do have another basic, but it is only a mountain. I guess that's pretty good. Hopefully they don't have a 3rd land here. And hopefully they don't have a Faithless Looting. If both those conditions are true, I think we're in fine shape. They do have a looting. Actually, looting's not that big of an issue. Because they can't dredge anything yet. Although they can put dredgers in their graveyard, so never mind. And they have a third land as well. Wow. Okay. I'm assuming they're going to attack for 2 in the air. Or 5. Okay. We are at 14. And tick file up to 3. Dahlia. Not the best, not the worst. Actually, never mind. This is almost the worst. I think at this point I am really going to hope that they only have 2 basic mounds in the deck. I'm pretty sure their basic count is very low. So I think this should work out. The Ghost Core should be a strip mine. I could also just Path to Exile the Amalgam, but I really want to try and keep them off of explosive plays. So I will Ghost Quarter the Gorge. I'm also not too worried about dying to them because of Path to Exile. Ooh, that was their last basic. Great. Also, notably, if I did go for the Ghost Quarter last turn, it would have actually not mattered, in a sense. Because they would have just played Gorge and cast the looting. Assuming they didn't find Gorge off looting, I guess. So maybe it would have still helped. Oh, they had an Archamoeba. And a Creeping Chill. That is very bad. Now I don't think we're fast enough unless we hit something like an Eldrazi Displacer or Flicker Wisp. Or Restoration Angel, I don't know. Really, 3 or 4 drop. Oh, they have a say. Okay, never mind. None of this mattered. They had many lands in their hand. And now we're going to say Cathartic Reunion, discarding at least 1 Dredger. Oh no, never mind, it's a Conflagrate. Targeting Thalia and Revoker. Sadly, I don't have a Flicker Wisp to save either of them, so they're dead. At least I get to Path to Exile the Amalgam. I almost played Temple in hopes of drawing a Thought Knot, but I got rewarded instead for playing the Plains. The good news is I do get to play Thalia here. And they still aren't, like, they aren't very fast, although I guess now they get to activate Shriekhorn a bunch. Really, if we could draw something, we might be able to crawl back in. Yeah. If we drew out Displacer a turn earlier, I think we would be in very good shape, but you never know. I'd rather play Thalia than hold a Displacer activation. Do they have a Conflagrate? They do have a Conflagrate in their graveyard. Although they do not have a Loam yet. Another Creeping Chill, okay. Well, that's very unfortunate. They're gonna dredge Stinkweed, hit pretty much nothing. Although they may have a 4th land of Flashback Looting. We also go to 3 and just die to Conflagrate. Yeah. Guess I'll make them play it out. Make sure they see the line. Close game though. Closer, not as close as the other dredge match, but these are still pretty close games. If we had a very early Leonardo, we might have been able to keep them off of lands, but it did not happen. And we will be going to sideboard, where just the same sideboarding, although now that we're on the draw, there will be some slight differences in terms of cards to take out, but the same cards come in. I on the draw I take out more. No, sorry, on the play. Last time was on the draw. This time it's on the play. Revoker is better on the play than the draw, for sure. You can take out at least one Path Exile. You can take out at least one Restoration Angel, and then you can take out the Flicker Wisps. Also, I'm gonna take out at least one Fraction Revoker. It does stop their Shriekhorn, but it's not a good enough reason to play 3 of them. Just gonna take out two of them, and the last cut will be. I guess I'll take out an Aether Vial. I'm bringing in a lot of non-threat cards, so I don't want to have too many non-threat cards, essentially. Or else, resolving Rest in Peace could just result in us not doing anything for a million turns and then dying. But anyway, we'll be on the play, and 1 land, can't keep. And we can keep this one. I really don't like Raptor's Cage as a card, but it is Graveyard Hate, so I'll keep it. Ooh, Brent and Forest Tender. I do like that card. I think I'll keep it on top. I think I'm actually going to lead off with a turn 1 Aether Vial. Aether Vial. Yeah, what am I doing? The odds of Raptor's Cage doing anything on turn 1 is very, very slim on the play, of course. And I'd rather get Vial going. Sure. See what they discard. Creeping Chill and Sneak Weed Up, sure. And I will play land, Raptor's Cage, and pass the turn. Well, I didn't necessarily need to play the cage now. I would much rather do that than Thalia. This is a lot more safe. And I'd rather do the safe play. Hopefully they don't have an answer to cage. Although this looks more like a reunion than an answer. Discarding some cards. Hopefully they hit Narcomoebas here. Oh, they just naturally drew? Okay, that makes sense. That almost certainly means that they don't have an answer in hand. And they are looking for one. Play the Brenton. And move to combat, attack. And I guess I'll Violent Dahlia now to make sure I get her tax off. I might sacrifice Campy. I want to see a little bit more though. They still don't have an answer. Again, if they had one, they would have dredged. So if they have an answer, it almost certainly was the card they drew for during their draw step. Otherwise, they would probably just be dredging, I assume. Trying to think if I want. I don't think I need to Campy. If I hit a 3rd land, I'd love to deploy both my threats now. If I don't, that's fine. Well, that was the opposite of a 3rd land. In fact, I might just crack Campy now in case of me hitting a land. Yeah, and just playing that land then. Are they going to Nature's Claim the cage? Oh, I wish I had Flicker Wisp. That's so unfortunate. That would have blown them out. But I don't know why I'm doing this now, actually. At least I gained 4 life. And they are at 12. That's not a very high life total. Okay. Play a plains and pass the turn. Now they're at 11. Okay. I guess they still have some creeping chills in their deck to find. Bloodghast I don't care about, and I don't care about right now, I guess. Sure, they go to 10, and I'm assuming this is going to be something along the lines of a Cathars Reunion. Or Loam. Or, I don't know. Okay, it's going to be a giant Cathars Reunion that will probably result in us dying. But we shall see. They hit Narcomoeba on the first one. They hit all their Narcomoebas, great, and a Creeping Chill. And the last one is more of a whiff. So they're going to get back 3 Narcomoebas and Prize Malcolm. And they will get back to Bloodghast if they have a land. Either way, this is a pretty good Catharic for them. Actually, it doesn't even matter if I do draw stuff or not. I guess it does. At this point, I can't draw Rest in Peace due to Thalia's tax, but that's fine. Their board actually isn't even that good. The scariest thing definitely is the Conflagrate in their graveyard. Is it only one? It is only one Conflagrate. Also, there are a pretty high life total. I think I'm going to take Vile up to 3. Yeah, I mean to 4. So I can make their hand, take a card out of their hand to make Conflagrate a little worse. Drew Shephet, so I can also cast the Displacer. Let me see what they dredged real quick. They dredged Imp 3 times. Okay. So they have 3 Imps in hand, and I think everything else is unknown at that point. So I think what I should do is I'm definitely going to attack with the Golem. I could attack with the Blade Splicer, but I don't know if I need to. Thalia takes out 2 of their Narcomoebas, but then dies, and that could become an issue, losing Thalia. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just attack with the Golem. Or maybe the Golem and the... No, I'm just going to attack with the Golem. As I have Displacer. Bring him down to... Oh no, they're going to block. Okay. I'm fine with that as well. And then I'll play Displacer. And then... I think what I'm going to do is... I can... Thought not them on their draw step. Or I could do it now. I think it's best to do it on their draw step to stop take their loam. Because I'm guessing that's what they will dredge. They have an upkeep stop. Not sure what that is for. Maybe they're playing the Dark Blast. Or they might. Oh, they can Dark Blast, can't they? Yeah, fine. They actually did dredge a Dark Blast. Sure. I'm assuming that's going to get rid of the Brenton to set up for a conflict turn. Yep. Can't do anything about that, sadly. And their hand consists of 3 Stinkweed Imps, a Looting, and a Shriekhorn. I guess I'll take a Looting. Yeah. Huh. Funny enough, they can't really do much. I guess next turn they can conflagrate for 5. But that's not too big of an issue. They're definitely not going to attack with anything. I don't think they can afford to. And now would be an amazing turn to draw Rest in Peace. I think Rest in Peace would win this game for sure. Restoration Angel would be an amazing draw. Thought Knot would be fine. Path wouldn't be bad. Sheffet. We are 1 mana short of being able to activate a Sheffet, so that is unfortunate. I'm definitely going to attack with Thought Knot and Golem, I think. I'm definitely going to attack with Golem. I guess Golem and Thought Knot are the only two. I guess I can't really attack with Thought Knot, huh? No, I can. Make them lose both their Narcomoebas, or just one Narcomoeba, I guess, by blinking Prize Amalgam. Is that better than making a Golem, though? I don't think so. I think I'd rather just make a Golem. So I guess it's just best to only attack with the Golem. That's very underwhelming, but you gotta do what you gotta do. They chump, sure. And then I'll play a Sheffet, and my main phase, I'll do it before they can Dark Blast it. Target Blades Blazer, make a Golem, and pass the turn. Curious to see what they're going to dredge. Or they might naturally draw as well, but I'd imagine they'd dredge in case they hit some payoff. And I'm assuming they're going to dredge Loam, or they dredge Imp, and they brick, I think? I took the Looting, right? Oh, they're playing Shriekhorn, okay. Right? They can't flashback Looting under Thalia. Oh, they're playing Conflagrate, that's right. Forgot they had that. I guess they're going to target Thalia and Thought Knot. Or Thought Knot and Splicer. So then they can dredge with Thought Knot. Yep. Oh, Thalia Displacer and Blade Splicer is another option, sure. I guess now it's time to be uber aggressive. Now drawing land's not bad. As long as they don't draw Aether Vial, the draw is not 100% dead. Okay. That is a land. I can't imagine we're going to win this game. They don't have another Conflagrate. Okay, so I guess, alright, we do have hope. But this is good. Now I get to attack for a bunch of damage, and they don't really have great blocks. That's probably our best block. But they lose Narcomoeba and they go to 3? Wow. Close game. And they dredge nothing super exciting, I don't think. I'm guessing they're going to dredge Loam, right? Yeah. Although I don't know what Loam is going to do to help them. I feel like they should have dredged Stinkweed Imp. Oh no, that wouldn't have helped either. I don't know how many creeping chills they've used. I guess they had 2 more in their deck, and they should have digged for a creeping chill for their last 2 creeping chills as they're out. As the amalgams enter tap, they're out. Narcomoebas and their Blood Gas cannot block. But that should be game. I think we do know their hand. They have, I think, Stinkweed Imp in hand that they can cast to block, but this is definitely lethal on board, so yeah, I think what they should have done. Oh no, they have 4 Stinkweed Imps in their graveyard. Never mind. What they should have done was dredge Stinkweed Imp and hope to hit a Creeping Chill, and they did. Then they go to 6, and they can play a Stinkweed Imp and block. But maybe they had different apps that they were looking for that I was unaware of. But either way, we did end up winning that game. Pretty close though. Makes me feel very unconfident about the next one. As I mentioned, Revoker is too slow on the draw, so I'm going to take it out and I'm going to bring in Path Exile as a means to slow them down. As you saw in that game, Path Exile would have been pretty good, as it would have removed their Amalgam. If I had that a while ago, it would have been pretty good. This is mostly meant, Path Exile is mostly meant to slow them down. And also, again, there are going to be games where you draw recipes turn 5 or turn 6. And while it does nuke their graveyard, they still have a few Amalgams and Bloodghast alive, and you having a Path Exile to clear up a couple of their creatures, then the rest can be blocked. Is a good plan. So game 3 on the draw, no rip, no cage, mulligan. Pretty sad, I like this hand. Actually, I'm having second thoughts on this. Cell Wreckage is slow, but it does deal with their creatures, and Brenton stops Conflagrate from killing us. Or at least the first Conflagrate from killing us, and we could easily draw into Rest in Peace. And then Blaze Blazer provides attack. I'm actually gonna keep it. I like it. A lot of times they're trying to win with damage. And this could stop that. And this can stop Conflagrate from killing me, although they will have multiple Conflagrates. And they mulligan to 5. They probably think we have a Rest in Peace. But alas, we do not. Although we have 4 graveyard hit permanents in our deck, it's pretty likely we find one. Drew another Blaze Blazer. That's not as terrible as it may look. They Shriekhorn, hit a Creeping Chill. We go to 17, they go to 20. Pass the turn on I keep the Shriekhorn. Hopefully they don't hit a Dredger. They do hit a Dredger, the best Dredger in their deck. They hit another Creeping Chill. I think that's a Nature's Claim and Bloodghast. Okay, they get back a Bloodghast, but it's not too big of an issue. They do fetch. Yeah, let's say we have Rest Piece in hand. It probably would be too slow. They're going to Loam, target Mountain, Carperline Gorge, and Gemstone Mine. Did not get any fetch lands. Very smart, as we have whatchamacallit, Leon Arbiter in the deck. I respect the opponent's play. We draw another Blades Placer. Excellent. We really need to hit third land. I mean, not third land, fourth land eventually. I don't want to get in a position where I Path Exile on my own creature, but not playing anything turn 2 feels terrible, but we shall see. They get a Stinkweed Imp in their graveyard, dredge it, hit literally nothing except a Stinkweed Imp. Play a land, probably going to flashback looting unless they have something better to do. Yep, they flashback looting. Dredge Imp, hit 2 Amalgams and a Ghast, and Dredge Imp, hit 2 Narcomoebas and a Ghast. So they have 3 prize Amalgams, 2 Bloodghast, and a Narcomoeba coming. Shoot. They also have an Ancient Grudge in the graveyard to deal with. Some of our permanents. We're at 14 as well. So next turn we would take 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage. Actually, we'll take 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, we're dead next turn because of Bloodghast coming back through Life from the Loam. So what we have to do now is block Bloodghast like this. Actually, we might not be dead, but what we have to do is block like this, and then Path Exile our own creature, and hope they don't play around Stellar Wreckage. Yeah, maybe I don't like our recipes would have been fast enough, I guess, but odds are they have a greater hate spell in their hand. Yes, I'll play Plains. Doesn't really matter. Hit another Narcomoeba. Also got a Dark Blast in their graveyard now. No looting. And they're not attacking with all their creatures, sadly. They actually are playing on Stellar Wreckage. I mean, we're only a Taxes deck. I'd like to attack with one more. Nope. Good enough. Good enough. We have to take what we get. Take what we can get. Oh, they do get the 2 Bloodghast back, but 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. I still think we can hit Rest in Peace though and be fine. Never mind, they have a... Oh no, Stick Ramp, yeah. Rest in Peace now might be fast enough, believe it or not. Displacer. Okay. I've seen worse draws. Play Blade Displacer. Play Displacer, pass. If they didn't have, whatchamacallit, Conflagrate, I would not be worried about this game at this point, but Conflagrate will almost certainly kill us. Oh, they also have Ancient Grudge on the Golem. Shoot, I forgot about that. Are we just dead then? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, they even have Dark Blast? Ugh. Not great. I either like to hit... I really have Tail Land, actually. Never mind. Even then, I'm pretty sure we're still dead to their flyers and such. Close. Close game. And that pretty much shows I really do have to keep Rest in Peace. Even though Stellar Wreckage and Brenton can definitely get there. I mean, again, even if we had the Rest in Peace, we almost certainly would have been too slow. It starts very fast. And yeah, we can block some of their creatures and path some of the others, but that will still be 4 damage coming through. And yeah, I'll do it. Cannot beat Treasure's one, and I'll see you for the finals. Alright, here for the final match of this competitive Modern League that we're currently 3-1 in. We are on the draw, awaiting our hand to decide whether to keep it or ship it back. 1 land and 1 Aether Vial is fine on the play, but I don't like on the draw. I also don't like how we have 3/4 drops. This is a very slow hand, so I'm gonna send it back. Keep in mind, if they have a Thoughtseize or Inquisition and take our Vial, this hand could easily fold itself. And even if they don't, it's very slow, so we're gonna look for about 6. This is a little better. The color situation is not great, but it does at least have a second land, so and we also get Scry, so I'll keep it. Restoration Angel will go on the bottom. I want another 4-drop. And they'll lead off with the Forest and Ancient Stirrings. Looks like the Affinity deck, Hardened Scales Affinity, could also be Tron. But it's more likely the Affinity deck as they let off with the Forest. I was right. Anyway, gonna lead off with Tron Vile. Plains was a good draw. And if I kept that other hand, I would have had my Vile still, but good chance it would have been too slow. They have now all their non-creature permanents going. They got an animation module off of the Stirrings. I've usually not found this card to be particularly good against us. Wonder if they didn't have great options, or maybe that's what they works well with their hand. I'm curious though. A little bit of a slow start though, not having a turn 2 play doesn't feel great against the aggro deck. But at least they haven't played any creatures yet. Although when they do, it will certainly be explosive. And they still haven't played any creatures. And it's been turn 3. Now I'm really curious. They must have found a lot of lands and maybe like Hardened Scales off of the Stirrings. I think they were trying to find a creature, is my best guess. Either way, my play will definitely be a Blades Blazer. Make a Golem and pass the turn. There looks like they hit a creature. It's a Hangerback. Sure. That is probably one of the easiest ones to path exile, other than the one that taps to give counters, that completely forgetting what its name is. Now I can path exile it, but I don't think I necessarily need to path exile it. I don't really care about getting one more point damage through, so what I'm going to do is play the Campy, attack for 3, and if they block, I'm perfectly fine with that. They can have their 2 Thopters. And now I'm going to pass and hold up either Path Exile on the Walker or Restoration Angel on my Splicer, depending on what they do. A 3rd Welding Jar, wow. I'm thankful that my removal spells are not Lightning Bolts or Veil Pushes. Wonder what their hand could be. They're holding 3 cards in there. Their deck doesn't really have creatures that cost more than 3 mana, so hard to read what they have. Guess I'll play a Blades Blazer, and then Restoration Angel, targeting a Blades Blazer, and I think at this point I will Path Exile the Hangerback Walker to get in maximum damage. 9, 12. It doesn't kill them, but it brings them to 5. And 5 is a pretty low life total. Drew a useless Aether Vial. Actually, I'm gonna crack Campy first in case I hit a Flicker Wisp. Don't know why I tapped the Eldrazi Temple. Yeah, I guess I'll path it. Nah. Yeah, I'll path exile now. After playing a Campy. I don't think I'm going to play Revoker. I don't really want to show them their Phyrexian Revoker. Phyrexian Revoker is not a very common card to see in Modern. Taxes. I'm not sure why they're giving it. Oh, so they want to make a server. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. They do get land, which might help them. They have not been playing lands at all. And I'll attack with all my creatures. They'll probably chump a golem and sack a welding jar to keep it alive. They might not sack a welding jar. This will definitely block something though. And I'm just going to pass the turn. Again, don't want to show them Revoker. I don't feel a need to sack Campy. They go to a measly 6 life, and it is their turn now. They play an Ink Moth Nexus. That could kill me, but it has Summoning Sickness, and I have a Ghost Quarter. Oh, I guess they have a Welding Jar, so the Ghost Quarter plan doesn't work very well against Ink Moth, as they can activate it, then sack a Welding Jar in response to my Ghost Quarter. All that being said, I can't imagine they have any outs to my very lethal board. We shall see. I guess they could block with Ink Moth and the servo. There's an Arcbound Ravager, sure. They did tap the Ink Moth, so they no longer have that as an out. But I guess they're not gonna have enough mana for that, and now they can block 3 things and go to 1. Okay. So I guess they're not by definition dead. Unless if I find a 3-drop or removal spell. It's a little awkward. I kinda wish I did play the Revoker. Still, I really can't imagine what their outs are. Layer and Arbiter, sure. I think what I'm going to do though is play Friction Revoker. Now I'm showing them the Revoker, but I think it's worth it. And they're going to, in response, sack some artifacts to the Ravager. Oh, they can make another Thopter? I mean, our servo? Excuse me. And I'll name the Arcbound Ravager. It's now a 4/4 though, but at the same time, they're not gaining any life, so I'm just going to attack patiently with the Restoration Angel and kill them next turn. I guess if they draw Walking Ballista and they kill Friction Revoker, then they can kill me with Ink Moth, so it is correct to Ghost Quarter the Ink Moth Nexus. And then pass the turn. This does let them make another servo. Oh, they didn't do that? Thought they would. Oh wait, they can't because of Revoker on Arcbound. That's right. Do they have the Ballista? They have Ensnaring Bridge? Are you serious? That's a card that they run? I've never seen Ensnaring Bridge in the main deck of this. Wow. Well, now we have Tiff, Flicker Wisp, which we have 3 in the deck. Shoot. I did not expect to see that card. This is quite awkward. I guess I understand why they can play Ensnaring Bridge, but I don't understand why they play in the main deck. Mox Opal, sure. As long as they don't hit another bridge. Wow. I wasn't worried about it. I really wanted you to play Ensnaring Bridge in the main deck of an aggro deck, but more you learn, I guess. Thought not to here. I guess I'm gonna play Aether Vial before Leon Arbiter. And hope that I hit my outs before they hit theirs, although I think it's more likely that they hit their outs first. Earthbound's not an out, thankfully. Their outs are Walking Ballista and Inkmoth next. No, Inkmoth is not out. I think their only real out is Walking Ballista. I'm gonna keep a Vial on 3. It makes it a lot easier for Flicker Wisp to be cast, as my mana is kind of an issue. Yeah. Sure. So they are making a servo and passing the turn. Yeah, at this point we need to hit Flicker Wisp and either a second Flicker Wisp or a Displacer to target a Flicker Wisp, or a Restoration Angel to target a Flicker Wisp. But at the very least we need a Flicker Wisp. Actually, I don't know why I didn't play Leonardo there. Will it take Vial up? Yes. Will it take this Vial up? No. Redraw. Oh. So rude. Draw a temple. Sure. I guess now I can do Thought non-draw step. I guess we outplayed the opponent then. Yeah. To show them for take out my Vial, now I get to bring in a Thought Knot. Arcbound, okay, that didn't matter. Sadly did not find a Ballista, but there could come a point where we can lock them, or not 100% lock them out, but like 95% lock them out with a Displacer plus Thought Knot, although we don't have a Displacer at our disposal yet to be able to do that. Hopefully we find one. Which one's the one on 4? This one. That will be always no. Well, I wish I put down 3 now. We do have a Displacer now. I cannot blink my Revoker because if I don't, well, I cannot change my name on Revoker because I need to keep it on Ravager. Now they're gonna target they're gonna target that. Okay. Let's continue making servers, sure. I cannot target Ravager because then, I mean, I cannot name Ballista because then I lose my sorry. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that if I name Walking Ballista instead of Arc by Ravager with their Fresh Revoker, then what they can do is not play their card in hand, attack with servos, and then pump them up with a Ravager and kill me with that way. I can start killing servos though, but I don't think it is worth it. Gonna keep the Violent 2 until I hit Flicker Wisp, if I ever do. 2 lands, okay. So I can blink, let's see. I can blink a servo. I can blink the Ravager. I can blink my Thought Knot. And I can blink Blades Blazer. I think Thought Knot Seer is the best one to blink. Oh. I was gonna blink Thought Knot on draw step. But there are 3, right? Yeah. Huh. I thought of it now. I'm not gonna blink Thought Knot on draw step. I don't think I've ever considered this before, but what I can do is on end step, use Displacer to blink Thought Knot. And do that twice. And try to leave them with no cards and try to get them to draw multiple lands so that they can essentially have. I get to blink Thought Knot 4 times, so if I can get 3 of those cards to be lands, then I win. Seems like an interesting experiment. Are they not going to play a card? Please don't play a card. That's so good for me. Especially if that's a land. So I guess we're going to try it out. This could randomly win the game. But again, I have to get to 3 in order to attack with my Restoration Angel. Actually doesn't matter which order I do it in. Oh, they do have cards in hand. That's an Evolutionary Leap, which seems very problematic, so I'm going to take that one. Now, blink this Thought Knot. So they have to draw all lands right now. Oh shoot, I did the wrong order. That was a little bit embarrassing. I thought I stacked it right. Shoot. I don't know if they have a land in hand or not. So I guess I'm gonna see what I draw first before I target Thought Knot. So essentially they have to be drawing a whole bunch of lands in a row in order for Thought Knot to work. Who never Thought Knot? Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna pass the turn. Okay. Hopefully they don't have a Walking Ballista in hand. Oh wait, shoot. What am I doing? Ah! This did not do what I thought it would do. Mm, 1, 2, 3, 4. They have 6 lands in play, but 7 after the Moxel Bowl. Yeah, I'm just going to Thought Knot them on their draw step. No matter what, I don't think it's gonna matter whether I Thought Knot them on draw step or end step or whatever. I just want to make sure they don't have a Walking Ballista. Hang her back in the land. Okay. Sure. I wish that was optional. So they're gonna play their Blooming Marsh, obviously. They did not play their Blooming Marsh. That was a big punt that I might be able to capitalize on. I can 100% put them on 2 cards in hand right now. Oh no, wait, I think I can win. Okay, I think we can win. We just have to do some amazing. So the first one we put in stack is the one that happens first. So I want them to draw a card last. And then displacer. Target thought dot. Oh boy. And then thought dot triggers. So we want them to draw a card last. So that's the one that we put in stack first. And assuming they don't have an instant in hand, this should win the game. Wow. And that's how to use the stack. Attack for 3 in the air. What a game, wow. Usually wherever I think of outs in Snare Bridge, I always think of the Flicker Wisp as the only out. However, Thought Nuts here making the opponent draw cards to put cards in their hand is a legitimate way to win. That's an interaction I've never done before, but it's definitely one that was very important to win that game. Wow. My heart's racing right now. Scared I'd mess up the stack. So sideboarding wise, we bring in Stony Silences to stop their artifact game plan. Bring in Rest in Pieces to, as it stops Arcbound Ravager, Hammerback Walker, Arcbound Worker. I think that's all it stops, so that's why you only bring in a couple. I bring in 2. Otherwise, you can bring Dismembers and you can bring an Orc Champion. If I have room for these, I will bring them in, but the ones I have to bring are Stony Silence, obviously. I'm going to take out all the Vials. I'm going to be aggressively mulliganing for Stony. Not as aggressive as against Dread for Rest in Peace, but still pretty aggressive. Leon Arbiter is a very weak hate bear. If I want to cut all of them, I can do that. I think I will do that. Your blinkers are very important, and everything else is pretty obvious. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything else you really want to bring in. Worship will get removed by their nature's claims that they bring in to fight Stony Silence, and Cell Wreckage they can easily play around, do things like Arcbound Ravager and Walking Ballista. So those aren't great. Plus they're expensive. I don't want the Rest in Peace because this isn't a auto win card. It's still a good card against them, but it's not winning the game card. But anyway, so that's sideboarding, and I'll see you for the next game. Here we are for the second game of the final match. Second game, we're up a game on the draw against Hard Scales Affinity with Ensnaring Bridge in the main deck, which surprised me, but almost won them the game. I'm gonna keep this hand. I have a Stony Silence, so the hand is amazing because Stony Silence is amazing against them. They kept their 7. It makes me think that they have an answer to Stony Silence, as they will have 4 Nature's Claims. Post board, would love to hit in their Stony Silence, but if not, that's fine. They're gonna play Hangerback Walker, maybe for 2, maybe not. If it's for 2, I might have to think about my play, but it was only for one, so I'm just going to play Eldrazi Temple and see if Stony Silence will win me the game, or if they have the claim. I could also play Revoker to try and bail out the Nature's Claim, but I don't think that's necessary. Here is an Evolutionary Leap and an attack, and a turn being passed. At this point, I would like to leave up Path Exile for the Hangerback Walker. Actually, never mind. I'm just going to Flicker Wisp it. I'm a little worried about this Evolutionary Leap, but it's hard for him to play both a creature and sack into the leap. Plus, I would rather save this for Walking Ballista, so instead I'm just going to Flicker Wisp, target the Hangerback Walker, and that will be all. And since it is red as 0 counters when it returns from Flicker Wisp ability, it will not bring any Thopters back. Opponent's playing an Arcbound Ravager. I don't see Nature's Claim coming. A little surprising, but you never know what else they have stored up. Gonna attack with the Flicker Wisp. Bring them to 17, and again, I don't really care about the leap. I'd rather save Revoker for Ballista after Stony Silence is gotten rid of. I don't think they can win without Stony Silence. So what I'm going to do is play a Restoration Angel. Target Flicker Wisp. And then with Flicker Wisp, I'm going to target my basic planes. And this way I get to dismember the Ravager and still have Restoration Angel in play. A very good tempo play, as killing them will be very important before they find an answer to the Stony Silence. For their turn, they played Hardened Scale. Still don't have a third land. I have a feeling that they have an Ensnaring Bridge in their hand. They're at 11 right now. So I can't Restoration Angel Flicker Wisp to keep them off of a land. So I don't want to do that. I think what I'm going to do instead is play Displacer and then play Revoker. I'll just name the Evolutionary Leap at this point. I can't imagine that they have any outs. It really doesn't look like they have a Nature's Claim. Even if they hit the Ensnaring Bridge, I have ways to cleanly get rid of it, such as Displacer on Flicker Wisp or the Resto in hand on Flicker Wisp. And this is also representing lethal. And to further put myself in a good position, I have a Path Exile to remove their creature. And yeah, that led to them conceding, and we ended up winning the match. Overall, we went 4-1 in a competitive Modern League with Eldrazi and Taxes, winning against Grixis Death Shadow, Mono Green Tron, Dredge, and Hardened Scales Affinity, while losing a match to a second Dredge opponent. The deck overall felt very well. The Eldrazi performed better than I expected, and I would honestly highly recommend Mono Eldrazi and Taxes to anyone interested in trying out D&T or ENT, as the deck I feel is very enjoyable, plus it's very well positioned in the meta compared to other D&T and ENT lists. Anyway, if there's any particular Death and Taxes or Eldrazi and Taxes list you guys want to see played in the league, in the video, please comment it below and I will make a video of it. And otherwise, I would really appreciate it if you would like, comment, share, and or subscribe to help support the channel. And Finally, if you wish to see other Death and Taxes content, including articles and matchup guides, visit my website at dntcentral.com. A link is in the description where there are matchup guides on the majority of matches played in this video. And anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon.